Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey! Today we're going to be talking about black YouTubers and harassment. And as a YouTuber myself, well, a YouTuber under 1.5k subscribers, I've experienced having harassment happening towards me within my content, whether on YouTube, off YouTube surprisingly, but mostly on YouTube. I've experienced harassment in the comments. Yeah, and thankfully I'm not that big enough, so I cannot compare to the numerous creators who are black and happen to be bigger than I am and experience more harassment. And today we're going to be talking about 5 black YouTubers plus myself, which makes 6, and their experiences with being harassed on the internet. And in between the video, I am going to include clips of theirs from certain videos of theirs to reference that make sense within this video. Okay, mi gente? Okay, mi gente? Okay. We're going to start now. As I've mentioned in the intro, I'm going to include clips, but I do want to make sure that I acknowledge this. I am not going to post up comment sections of these creators. If you want to see their comment sections, I highly suggest to watch their content, and then you're going to see that certain things that I've talked about in this video, it makes sense as well, alongside of course hearing their own feedback in their clips and stuff. But I do want to acknowledge that I am not going to include their specific comments. I'm probably not going to include mine, but if you're a frequent viewer or you see certain things that I post on the community tab or on my Instagram account, you already know this shouldn't be a surprise that I've been harassed before. Another thing, majority of the YouTubers that I'm talking about today, they have not received, that I know of, public harassment. Most of these are online, but a few have been threatened to get harassed in person. You're gonna see when I talk a bit more about it in the video. But I also do want to mention that there is this YouTuber, I forgot his name, but I'm going to put the article somewhere here, and he experienced being harassed back in 2020 when the George Floyd situation was happening, and it's very disgusting because he was called the N-word. Yeah, I highly suggest you read the article in case you did not know about this. Check that out because I'm not going to talk too much about that situation. And we're going to start off with black YouTuber number 1, OhStephco. If you have not checked out the community tab, which by the way, you're missing out, I shared a community tab post about Steph's content, the second most recent video, which is a video about her announcing the 1 million view on her Pretty Privileged video that came out in 2021, and how much she hated that video, but she also loves that video in the sense because of the opportunities that she received as a content creator, but she also received negative things as a content creator too due to that specific video. And harassment, definitely harassment too.
Like I still can't look up my own name. Like if somebody's like, oh, hey, you're on YouTube, I can't be like, oh yeah, look up OhStephco. Like I literally have to go in, I have to go to my YouTube analytics page, I get my channel link, and then I put the link on their phone. I do not want people who are unfamiliar with my journey on this platform. I do not want them just to look up my name and find my content, because inevitably they're going to run into a mountain of hate and a mountain of really disgusting and disappointing things that have been said about me. And
people misinterpret that video so much. It gets to a point where it's annoying, and I feel very bad for Steph. She's very vulnerable online, and that is not easy. And she talks about things that not too many people talk about online, especially black women who happen to be darker skinned. Sometimes this content creation thing, it could be a sign of therapy. Like me, I've recently made a video, well, it was about a month ago, which, by the way, thank you, Steph, for encouraging me to make that video, about my experiences making male friendships, especially now as an adult, because it's a mess. But I've talked about it, and I was kind of nervous to talk about it because I knew when you get vulnerable online, people do get very aggressive and start to harass and be disgusting, because once again, Steph has went through this.
I cannot believe you think you are so ugly. Never said that. I cannot believe you think this is how the world works. It does. I can't believe you're so negative. I was sad. It was a mental health video. I'm not like that all the time. So my point for making this video is to really have something to send them. Have a link. I'm not going to respond, but here, have a link. So the first.
And I already knew that, and I didn't want to go through that. But thankfully, I've received good feedback in that video, but I felt nervous to share too much details about myself, especially personal things that I do not or hardly even talk about with my own friends and family members. So it was very hard for me to talk about, but thankfully I did it. But back to Steph. Steph happened to be a part of a few articles, and one of them I'm going to read it because it has to do with one of her videos when she was talking about her experience being with a man who happened to use her for her body, and she knew that this was the case, and she went through to sleep with him, and people were very disgusting in the comments.
Oh yeah, so to people who were wondering about that, why would you still even why would you even entertain? Why? I knew what it was when it started. I'm an adult person. I could tell who he was. Listen, the night we met, I thought we were connecting on all these levels, and I thought, I saw all these synchronicities, and do you know that he called me, and I think I might have said this in the first story time, but I'm not quite sure. This man called me maybe 20 minutes after we had parted, and he was like, "What you doing? I'm trying to see what you're doing. Where you going? Are you going to your house?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to my house." Can I say you're not coming to my house? No, because at this time I wasn't sure, or I hadn't really pinpointed the fact that he was really just not going to put out any effort with me, like past physical activity. Like that was his goal, right? But at this time, I still thought that maybe he had some potential. I didn't know. I would know very soon that no, his biggest potential is going to be, okay, that's going to be the most potential that he's got when it comes to you. But yeah, he tried.
And I remember this because I watched this video back then, and I remember numerous times when Steph was trying to defend herself in the community tab and in her comment section, and then there were times she actually stopped, and then of course there were numerous people backing her up too, aka her subscribers. And I think I also defended her too, I'm not sure. A writer on the Uniter made valid points in this article. She states, "To my annoyance, Stephanie's comment section was filled with viewers admonishing her for having casual sex. If she felt so hurt by being disregarded, she should have waited for several dates till the man proved herself worthy to give her body to." As the writer stated in the article, this is true. People were going hard on Steph for expressing having casual sex, and this is my opinion. I feel like if somebody's okay with that within their lifestyle, we should respect it. Of course, everybody has their own opinion about dating and the rules of sex and the other things we all know. So I do get people are not going to agree with that, but at the end of the day, that's Steph's choice. And she did also mention it in the video to respect her, because that is her choice and she's a grown woman. So I did felt that people were giving feedback that she did not even want to hear, and it's like respect, because she did say respect me, and she ended up disabling her comments for her safety, I believe, because I don't remember why she did it, but I do know that she have mentioned it in numerous articles and of course in a few of her videos that if she feels like the comment section is too toxic for her, she's gonna either delete your comment, block you, or just put the comment on comments off if she has to, because that's for her sanity and that's also for her to feel comfortable as a content creator, and I respect that. One more thing before we move on, I do want to mention about the biases towards her content to be sponsored, because this was crazy when I found out about this, even though I do know, because Steph has mentioned this in a few of her videos, which one of them has to do with the April Fool's video, and I'm going to reference it right now from this article. A writer on The Tilt does a breakdown of Stephanie's rise to YouTube stardom. Then they quote this from her April Fool's video. What you say and how you say it can affect your collaborative or sponsorships opportunities. I used to work with this company that said they could get me brand deals. They were able to get me a couple, but there were a lot of brands that they pitched me to, and the brands passed. I know this does not have to do with harassment, but in a sense it kind of does, because the fact that they do not want to work with her because of the way her content is, and it's not family friendly, I'm assuming, to them, it's messed up, because they will give chances to these other creators, especially the white creators who are doing content kind of similar to Steph, but of course not the same. And it's hypocritical. And then also I've been seeing other crazy stuff that they be allowing, and sometimes it's even black content creators too that are doing, I don't want to say inappropriate things, but stuff that's like, that's inappropriate, but do you? That kind of falls with not harassment, but more like not giving a creator a chance due to the content they create. And then on top of that, when a creator is harassed, like for example Steph, they feel pressured to not make as much content as they usually do due to being harassed. And Steph has talked about this a few times too in her videos, about how there were times she wanted a break and then she didn't want to come back because of the harassment or things within her personal life. So I feel like these sponsors, they need to be more open-minded and give black content creators and content creators in general a chance, small or big or medium size. I feel like we all should get a chance, and I appreciate Steph for bringing this up and talking about this, because it's an important topic. The people who are making reaction videos to Steph's content, you corny. Okay? I just wanted to mention that. On to the next. Number 2, Miree. Miree is a content creator, and I enjoy her content, by the way, too. She has been on YouTube for I think at most 5 years, I believe. She has received harassment, like crazy harassment, in these past few years since I've subscribed to her channel in 2020.
Black people are a very stubborn group of people. With me just having the type of commentary content that I do have and trying to have productive conversations, in my comment section, it's been all types of crazy things, all types of things that people have said towards me, black men and black women. I've had people make fun of my features. I've had people call me transgender. I've had people send death threats. I've had people say all sorts of things to me, men and women, because they're offended and mad. And a lot of the times they end up projecting. We do not have respect for each other. And I'm speaking to myself on that.
As you all seen in the previous clip, Taylor has received harassment to the point that she doesn't want to even do black content creation, black commentary videos, due to the harassment she has received. And it's very sad when I heard about this when she made that video, because I really enjoyed her videos, and my most favorite videos of hers, which by the way are not on her channel right now because she put them on private, are the videos about the mixed baby fetish, her video about the black manosphere, not even the manosphere as a whole. She made a whole video about their content. She also made a great video about the one drop rule. Highly recommended, but it's not on YouTube as of now. Those were my favorite videos that she has created thus far. Of course, there are a few other videos, like when she does unpopular opinions, which she made a recent video about that. But back to the harassment, with people saying disgusting things to her about her appearance, her features, and then her body parts or stuff like that. And then there are people that were sending her death threats because of her commentary. Like, you see how sick that is? Like, imagine having so much time to bully and verbally harass somebody online, and then thinking that you're doing something, but you're actually not, just because you're upset that they are quote unquote saying things that triggered you, or saying things that bother you. Okay, you do not need to watch. And I feel bad that she stopped doing this type of content. I mean, she did said that she's gonna try to do a few things here and there, but that's one of the main reasons why she stopped doing that content. She also mentioned about trying to change her content due to her religious practices.
And for me to have the audacity to have a Bible verse and to walk around being a representation of God, or a representation, or a daughter of God, or a woman of God, and have a Bible verse and say that I'm a woman of God. Meanwhile, you'll go through after the Bible verse and see the type of content that I made, and you're just like, aren't you a believer? What are you doing? And it's some of those videos, speaking of that, some of those videos I also curse. So I had the audacity, and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, I still slip up and curse at this very moment in time. And that's normal, you have mistakes, obviously, but some of those videos, I was cursing like a sailor, saying all types of stuff, putting my stamp of approval on stuff that is completely against God and what God would not want me to approve of. And I know y'all probably like, why are you bringing God into this? Why are you talking about God in this? Because that's something I take very seriously. But
in this area, I understand how she feels, because it's like, you want to respect the religion that you practice, but of course nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, and I'm religious, but not to like the point of Taylor or my family, because my family, they're religious, very religious. But I do understand how she feels, that you want to try to be the best in your religion or whatever you practice spiritually, and it takes a toll when you notice that certain things that you've done weren't quote unquote respected within the religion. But I feel like that was you right there at that moment, that time. You didn't know what you were doing, and then you were younger at that time too. Now you're 20 or 21, so of course of course, it's gonna take you some time to realize, oh, this is not right. I shouldn't be doing this, and thinking, oh my God, I did this. What should I do? But I think you should give yourself grace, and I'm happy in the way that you're trying to change certain things that you've done back then. But I do think you should give yourself grace and put back my favorite videos of yours. Please put them back on YouTube, please. But I understand. That's your decision, and we as the viewers, we have to respect it. Black content creator number 3 is Kimberly Foster. Kimberly Foster happens to be a YouTuber. She mostly focuses on black commentary, specifically black commentary focused on black women and femininity, and with feminism, something in between that. I've watched some of her videos before, and I like some of her takes here and there, blah, 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 right? She was harassed crazy. And it had to do with the Barbs, aka Nicki Minaj's fan base. And I do want to mention, not all Barbs are toxic, but some of them, yes, they are. Before I get into more details, I do want to read Kimberly Foster's tweet that ended up triggering the Barbs to attack her and Nicki Minaj to participate in the harassment. The tweet states, Nicki is so clearly a horrible person. Negativity sticks to her like glue. I don't know if we've ever seen this before. That's Kimberly's opinion. Is it a good one? Yeah. No. Does she have a right to give her opinion? Yes, but could she have done it in a better way? Yes. But I do not think for her to be harassed to the point like what I'm going to read next. No, she did not deserve to be harassed like that. Not one bit. Uproxx article states, a YouTuber who critiqued Nicki Minaj as being a horrible person is planning to file a lawsuit against Minaj's fans, familiarly known as Barbs, who she claims crossed the line in continuously harassing her family, and threatening violence. Keep in mind, the harassment was all over her social media posts and even on the phone as well, because they were sending her death threats on the phone, texting her, calling her. It was disgusting, and all I gotta say is the Barbs that did that are disgusting, and that is not okay. Even if you do not agree with her take, that is not okay. Not one bit. And for Nicki Minaj to be participating in this is even worse, because Nicki's a grown woman, and she has a huge fan base, a way bigger platform than Kimberly Foster. So for her to be allowing this behavior is unacceptable, and participating in it, unacceptable. Number 4, Signified B Snides, aka FD Signifire. I am a huge fan of FD Signifire and his content.
Next question is from Julian Steve. How are you feeling about your massive channel growth? Why did you start your YouTube channel and when? And what are your goals for 2021? The growth is crazy. I don't know if I said this at the beginning, like, or maybe said in the other time I tried to record this. I never thought it would be so hard to get to monetization. I understand why, because I was really not making it easy on myself and the way I was doing things. But that also, still helped because my content was good and it was very truly me. And so when certain folks popped up, it was like, yo, this is really good. We got to get you out there. Somebody brought Khadijah Mbowe to my attention, and she eventually, saw some of my work and was like, oh yeah, we gonna give you a shout out. Her shout out put me over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for everybody that followed me from Khadijah's shout out, because that's really what put me over the top. And then thankfully the growth has continued from there.
FD Signifire does content or commentary, mostly based on Black commentary with Black media. Yeah. And he has grown a huge amount within the past year. As of now, he's over 400,000 subscribers. I do want to mention this before I talk about the other things. He was harassed way back, and I remember this too. It was crazy that time too. When he made the buck breading reaction video, he was harassed extremely by manosphere guys. And keep in mind, most of these men, they were Black men getting mad of his takes and being extremely homophobic and say other crazy things. I remember this in the comment section. I was like, what is this? And then the dislike ratio was ridiculous as well during that time. But thankfully, Khadijah and Ball and a few other content creators, they were defending FD Signifire, and thankfully numerous content creators were right there to back FD up. Blah 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 blah. Now we at present day. When it comes to FD Signifier's content right now, most recently, well, if you call that most recently, he has been doing content related to the manosphere, and it got a lot of great feedback, but of course there were negative feedback on his takes, and harassment started to come within his channel, blah blah blah. And now we're here. This is why I'm talking about this. The way people were making reaction videos towards his content.
Just they're doing their best, right? But overall, the tone changed when I got into the chat. There was some bitches and hoes still. There was still a lot of, you gay, you bi, whatever. A lot of anti-Semitic stuff, But the tone of the conversation changed when I was in the room. Before I announced my presence, I was every bisexual bitch ass nigga in the world. And little old intersectional feminist ass me. Soft moist nigga, as they kept saying. When I got...
There were people being homophobic, once again, saying ridiculous and degrading things, and or trying to be degrading. It's unacceptable. I do not understand people. I don't know why they thought this was a flex. And then there were other things that people have done to FD as well on the web. But FD has a huge fan base, and of course content creators like myself who look up to him and or share his content and support him, blah blah blah, and that helps him to feel supportive, and that also helps him to have the courage to make this content, of course, because it is his job and he needs to make money, obviously. But when you enjoy doing something, you want to continue to push through and continue doing it, even when negativity comes within doing that as well. Speaking of his job,
it was close, but it was close between that and second place, which is a millennial video, but it came in last, and the number one option was white rappers. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna do all of these videos eventually, right? When I saw the results, I realized that the white rapper video needs to be what I'm gonna call a algorithm lover. that's something the algorithm's gonna like. And so when you're making, depending on how you make content, because some people make so much content, it don't matter. And like, as long as it's consistent, the algorithm will show love every time. But when you're like me and other video essayists, where you drop maybe like as many as 2 videos a month, especially for how much work goes into these videos, you really can't have no big L's. You can't really have no like straight up like videos that bomb. That's an existential threat. Any 10 out of 10, unless your last 9 videos were like breaking records, if a video's 10 out of 10, that's a problem.
FD made valid points, because even though I am not monetized on YouTube yet, I could somewhat understand where he's coming from, because it's like with me, when it comes to my content, I've noticed that my views start to pick up a bit more, but once I take a break here and there, like a 2-week break, YouTube is like, And mind you, I'm not that big of a creator yet. Sometimes you gotta do things that will get you the clicks, get you the views, get you the engagement. But sometimes you have to do things for your sanity. You have to do things that you want to do as a content creator, not because you want to chase the algorithm. You want to get your video to be pushed. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you have to do what you genuinely love as a content creator, even if your audience does not fuck with that. You have to just be like, I'm going to trust my gut, and I'm just going to do the video I really want to do. I appreciate FD for sharing that. I do. The 5th creator, before we talk about yours truly, is Ehis. Ehis is a content creator who happens to be based in the UK and has over 50,000 subscribers. And his content is mostly based on lifestyle and commentary, but mostly lifestyle, like his life. I don't know why I mentioned that again. You get the point. He spoke out back in 2020 due to the George Floyd situation. We all know what happened. I don't want to go into too much detail because, YouTube. We all know how YouTube works. And Ehis thankfully spoke out.
Now, in regards to the whole George Floyd situation, one, I feel like there is a lack of emotion on my end because it's not the first, it's not the second. You know, we have Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Tatiana Jefferson, Stephon Clark, Jordan Edwards, Alton Sterling, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Sandra Bland, Corey Jones, John Crawford, Terence Crutcher, Keith Scott, and obviously now George Floyd. Also, by the way, I haven't seen the video because I don't want to see the video. I've kind of like seen the post, but I've not watched it because tired is just the only way to explain it. I'm tired of seeing black bodies beaten up to death. I'm tired of seeing...
He discussed about how he was hurt with the situation about George Floyd and numerous other people within the United States being killed by police officers and civilians. Then he started to get harassed, talking about how all lives matter is rubbish and this and that. At least make sure to make content based on this topic.
Luke Holland, 5 days ago, edited by the way. I just think these things matter, maybe not to you, but I just think these things matter. I've been to the food bank for the last 6 weeks. My white privilege. Just as many whites are killed by the police, you can't see the bigger picture. It's called divide and conquer, you tit. Alright, Luke. Let me tell you something. This is just white fragility to me. No one said why people don't have it hard. However, you just cannot. You can't relate. You won't relate. And you will not relate on a personal level to your life being harder due to the color of your skin. Just the fact. Next, Bacon Crusader, 5 days ago with 24 subscribers. Definitely didn't eat lunch alone in school, did you? And this video is fucking dumb, you twat. This is England Twitter. This is what I tell you. You know, the Twitter that uses the white and red flag. Not the Great Britain flag, but England Twitter. Those are the type of people to use the word twat. And this video is fucking dumb, you twat. All lives matter, you stupid muppet. I can't but laugh.
And I appreciate Ehis to be doing this. It takes courage to be talking to your haters and making content on it, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I'm able to do that. I do not think I'm able to do that, but I give him the credit that he deserves, because you have to have thick skin to be doing that. It was funny, numerous clips of this, but he made sure to roast them as much as possible and let us know as viewers what has been happening to him, and that this is the price that us Black content creators making content that happens to be controversial. Number 6, me. So when it comes to me being harassed, I've been harassed for sure. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know this way before anyone else notices anything, because I usually post it first on my Insta stories. If you check out the community tab, you also already know this because I've talked about it as well there, but not as frequently as on Insta story, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I do not want you guys to, unless you want to, but you know, I do not want to feed into harassment even to the hater or haters. But you know, sometimes you gotta have people backing you up, which, by the way, thank you to my subscribers for always backing me up, because some of these people be extremely racist, but also bullying and overall harassment. It's ridiculous, and they try to give passive aggressive constructive criticism, and that's not how constructive criticism works, but whatever. I'm gonna be honest, I started to receive harsh criticism when I created my videos about CJ the rapper, and people were harassing me and calling me the N-word, not with the ER, but the A at the end. And either or, that's not okay, because these people were not even Black and they were calling me that. My video about, it was the running neon video. I received harassment in that video, but it wasn't harassment to me. It was more like passive aggressive constructive criticism. But I guess, I don't think it was that bad, but you know, it was. I was also harassed too when the Anthony Ramos video came out, mostly because of the Anthony Ramos video. I was also harassed by that time too, and people were being very disgusting and of course racist there too, and or just plain disrespectful. And then a few other videos, people were also trying to make fun of me of my delivery in certain videos of mine when I was clearly tired, because I was filming after going to school, even though it was remote, but that still counts. I was tired, or when I was working remote as well. But these people didn't care. Instead, they would just bully me and say that my delivery is not good, that I need to speak faster, and that I shouldn't be talking about hip hop because I do not have the range to be talking about it, and that I cannot talk about hip hop because I cannot talk fast, and this and that, all that stupid shit. Keep in mind, this was at my beginning stages on YouTube. I was still kind of new. I didn't really know what I was doing, and once again, I was at school, and I was also working remote as well. And these people didn't care. They were still trying to find a way to pick on me, which, by the way, a few of those videos I deleted it, not only because of that feedback, but also because I felt like I could have done better too. I did admit it. In videos of mine, I've acted a different way because of the feedback I've received from people trying to disrespect my delivery, trying to disrespect my lack of knowing how to pronounce words in Spanish, which is very stupid, because yeah, sure, I am Afro-Latino. My parents are both from Honduras, but I'm Americanized. I was born and raised in America, and I happen to not have the best vocabulary when it comes to my Spanish. My Spanish is, it's not good. I'm going to be honest. It is not good. But I do understand Spanish, but these people want me to be the perfect person to speak Spanish, and I forgot to even mention that. There were people even coming at me for not knowing certain words in Spanish, or telling me I shouldn't be making these type of content about Afro-Latinos or the Latino community as a whole because my Spanish isn't good. And for those people, do not tell me what to do. This is my channel. I do what I want. There's a way to give constructive criticism without being a jackass. And these people were clearly trying to be jackasses towards me. Then I also received numerous harassments especially with my content as of July 2022 until now, which includes my Rosalia video, my The Weeknd video, what other video? Oh, especially this one I'm going to mention, the Steve Lacy video. I've received harassment, crazy harassment, that I've been afraid to check my comment section. There were times I would check my comment section every 2 weeks, not only because of course my job and me being tired or me trying to be consistent with YouTube, but it was also because of the harassment that I faced because of the Steve Lacy video. I even mentioned this on the community tab that I would expect it way more on my Rosalia and The Weeknd videos, but nah. The harassment on the Steve Lacy video was ridiculous. I do not think I said anything disrespectful to Steve Lacy to the point for me to be harassed and people telling me to shut the fuck up, or that I'm being anti-black because I'm making content about this, or talking about my script writing, talking about my delivery in the video, talking about that I'm trying to pit a black man against another black man, stupid shit like that. Even though this wasn't towards me, but there were even people being homophobic in the comments, worrying about what Steve Lacy does in the bedroom. Keep in mind, I didn't even mention that, but people were concerned about that as if I've mentioned that in the video. And then of course there are worse comments, because when you see the held for review part, I do not check that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to check those comments because I know it's going to be disgusting. It's going to be worse than the comments that YouTube already puts for me to see, and I don't want to see that. I do not deserve this, and other content creators that are being constructive with their feedback towards any type of content material does not deserve this, especially black content creators, because when we do these type of controversial topics and all things that relates to our race, people try to use that against us, and then try to not only be passive aggressive with their constructive criticism, but also they be racist, or they be colorist, or they be self-hating as well, because there are even black and mixed with black people who be saying ridiculous things towards us black content creators, and you wouldn't expect that from them because we're black, or they're half black, or whatever you want to call them. But to them, they just see it as someone who's hating, or somebody who is trying to spread negativity on the internet. But in reality, we're trying to educate people. We're trying to improve on society online and in person. But these people do not want us to do anything. They want us to shut up and talk about different other things, and we're not obligated to. At the end of the day, this is what we want to do. This is us putting ourselves out there. And just because we put ourselves out there does not mean we deserve to be harassed. I think we deserve to be respected. Of course, if you do not agree with us, you could have your opinion, but don't be disrespectful. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Have your opinion, but don't be disrespectful. Or as a matter of fact, click off the video. Nobody's forcing you to watch our content. If you cannot handle it, do not watch it, or watch it at a different time when you're mentally ready, because we shouldn't be feeling like we have to watch everything that we do or say or how we act on camera. You know what? Concluding statement right now, quick, and then the outro. Please respect us content creators, especially Black content creators, because a lot of y'all be showing your racist, colorist, and self-hating asses in the comment section. Y'all be showing how you got issues. We do not deserve that. We do not feel like we need to change who we are, what we do, because of you guys trying to harass us on the internet or in person or both. It's unacceptable. I do want to say that if you're a Black person mixed with Black person and you want to make content creation and you feel like you discouraged a bit because of certain things I've shared within this video, I hope you still try to do content creation. I feel like we all deserve to have a voice, even if people do not agree with us and or people harassing, because I already know, even though I made this video and hopefully most of y'all made it this far, there are going to be people who are not going to listen to my feedback, which is totally fine, which is why I'm gonna ignore them, block them. That's how you have to do it sometimes as a content creator. You have to ignore the negative spaces. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, especially if you made it this far in this video. Please comment, tell me your feedback, and share the video if you want to. If you don't, yeah. Which, by the way, before I even close out, I've saved a link for you guys to check out about Black. Oh shit. So the lights for this video died and we here. What I wanted to say was that I've left a link where you guys could check out this article where they were talking about suing YouTube because of racism, and then long story short, YouTube won, but whatever. I'm gonna leave the links in the description so you guys can check it out, because it's interesting and it kind of aligns with this topic. Thank you, and